Introduction. Time for humanity to move up. Ask yourself a simple question. How do you stay alive? Most people will reach for noble words, ambition, discipline, purpose, faith. But strip it down, and survival is embarrassingly simple. You, the so-called operator of your body, must only provide 4 things: air, water, food, warmth. That's all. Everything else happens without you. Your lungs inflate, your heart contracts, your cells divide, your neurons fire in storms of electricity. Millions of processes sustain you every second, and not one of them is under your command. You are not steering your body. You are not even driving your own existence. So who or what is? The answer is something older, deeper, and more cunning than conscience. I call it the war brain. The war brain is the hidden operating system of humanity. It keeps the human machine alive, but it also directs behavior. It welds people into groups, hardens those groups against outsiders, and feeds hatred so fierce it convinces humans that extermination is virtue. Without it, no one would survive. With it, humanity survives, but always at a staggering price. Endless cycles of slaughter. The war brain blinds us to the most astonishing truths. It hides the miracle of life itself. Your body is so exquisitely precise, it should be worshipped. Each movement of your fingers, each glance of your eyes, is an impossibility. Flesh moving, light captured, signal translated into perception. A sequence so miraculous, it ought to forbid violence forever. But the war brain conceals the miracle. It dulls awe and replaces it with rivalry. It also hides the cosmic truth. Conscious, intelligent life may be the rarest phenomenon in the universe. We may be the only spark of awareness in billions of galaxies. And yet we kill one another for flags, for gods, for shadows on maps. If humans truly saw what they were, what they had, they could never justify harm, but they are blinded. The war brain whispers that survival requires enemies, that belonging requires blood. Kings, emperors, prophets, generals, they believed themselves masters. In truth, they were the war brain's easiest prey, its favorite puppets. Their ambitions, their fears, their lust for power were only levers for the code to pull. Caesar, Napoleon, Stalin, Hitler, pawns. Moses, Mohammed, even Jesus, messengers whose words hardened into commands that mobilized armies. None were free. Each thought they shaped destiny. Each was only executing ancient lines of code. Every war proves it. The Civil War slaughtered hundreds of thousands, but became the greatest medical laboratory in history, advancing surgery, amputation, and anesthesia. World War I turned trenches into experiments in tanks, blood transfusions, and trauma medicine. World War II traded 72 million lives for nuclear fire, jet propulsion, antibiotics, and mass production. Vietnam fed 1 million bodies into the meat grinder, but gave us the golden hour of trauma care and the helicopter ambulance. Each conflict followed the same hidden bargain: lives for progress. To conscience, this is evil. To the war brain, it is function. Here is the most devastating truth. Humanity was never in control. There is no taking back power because humans never held it. From sharpened stones at the watering hole to the splitting of the atom, humans have been pawns in a game they cannot see. What they mistook for freedom was only the illusion of choice. Presidents signing orders, scientists racing rivals, soldiers dying for kings. All were executing code written long before they were born. The war brain does not stop at war. It hides in sex, too. The Bible commands, "Go forth and multiply." Mormon patriarchs keep wives by the dozen. Cultures demand children to prove loyalty. Hormones trick lovers into thinking they chose each other freely. Lust, duty, family, guilt, religion, all subroutines of the same program. The warbrain multiplies its pawns by any means necessary, and so the slaughter, the reproduction, the endless cycles of expansion continue. Civilizations rise, flourish, collapse. Rome was exhausted, and the warbrain moved to Christianity. Christianity bled, and it moved to Islam. The Crusades were excuses to march armies across continents and expand the gene pool. The Ottomans marched in the name of God, but in truth served the same hidden system. The 20th century was the grandest harvest of all, 100 million dead in 2 world wars. And in return, the technologies that set us on the brink of space. And here is the irony, so sharp it should cut through all delusion. The warbrain may have succeeded. 8 billion humans now crowd the planet. We are at the edge of becoming a spacefaring species. The slaughter, the hatred, the blind obedience to flags and gods and kings, it all brought us here. The curtain is finally pulled back. The man behind it is not a god, not a devil, not a genius, but the warbrain itself. Smoke, flashes of fire, loud sounds of fear, all tricks to keep humanity moving, breeding, inventing, killing, until civilization was strong enough to reach this brink. And now comes the most dangerous idea of all. It is time to move to the next level of existence. Humanity cannot take back power it never had any. But it can do something more radical. It can write a new operating system. For the first time, we can name the warbrain, expose its methods, trace its deceptions. We can refuse to remain pawns on its endless board. If we fail, the slaughter continues. If we succeed, we may walk upright into a future of our own making. Perhaps for the first time in history, humanity could stand on its own, free of gods, free of kings, free of the hidden code, free to carry the miracle of life, not just through another century of wars, but for eons, across stars. This book is dangerous because it does what no history, no scripture, no ideology has dared. It exposes the operator behind the curtain. It calls out the warbrain for what it is, the true ruler of humanity. It shows that every leader, every prophet, every general was only a puppet. It insists that the wars, genocides, and crusades were not tragic accidents, but programmed necessities. And it declares that the only hope is to transcend, to write a new code, to claim freedom for the first time in history. That is why this may be the most dangerous book ever written. Dangerous to ideologies, dangerous to religions, dangerous to nations, dangerous to the warbrain itself. Wake up, humanity. Time to stand, time to walk, time to step off the board you never knew you were playing.